What's up, guys? lowlifespider and MillerGirl15 here.
Hi, everyone. Hope you had a safe, happy Halloween.
We definitely did. Anyways, it is November 2016, and we are here to show you the free games that you can get with a PlayStation Plus membership.
Lots of fun things.
First up, we have Pumped BMX Plus for the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Vita.
If the name doesn't give away how corny this game is, just watch the gameplay.
It's kind of like a trials game, but you don't use a motocross
very
bike.
less impressive.
You don't use a motorcycle, you use a BMX bike instead. You can complete tricks by using the left and right sticks, which you can also modify by pressing the triggers and bumpers. Like, I think the triggers rotate you, and then the bumpers turn it into a harder trick or something like that.
But don't stop, because he doesn't know how to pedal.
Yeah, for some reason when he starts, like at the beginning of a level, you hold X to pedal, but once you get past like that first hill, you can't pedal anymore. You're just basically going off of your speed from all the jumps and hills and everything. And if you come to a stop, like right here, you'll just tip over and fall off your bike because your guy forgot how to pedal. Up next, we have Letter Quest Remastered, available for the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita.
Can't decide between an RPG or a puzzle word game? Here you go.
It's definitely a crossover of like Scrabble and an RPG game. The longer and better word that you use, the more damage it will do. When you create the words out of the Scrabble pieces, it damages the enemy, and then they can also, like, in return, mess with your tiles, so they can crack it, which makes that word not do as much damage. They can poison the tiles, which if you use that letter in your word, it poisons you. And then there's other ones like plague tiles, which spread across the board after each turn, and you want to use them quicker.
You picked some fun words to display here. Squirter, huh?
Yeah, squirter. Each tile has a color rating: bronze, silver, and gold. Obviously, like Z will have a gold, so it gives you more points or more damage.
I love that it displays the meaning of the words.
There's actually a button that you can push, so if you have a word and it highlights it blue, you can press the button to see what that word meaning is, and then after you use it, it'll automatically show it no matter what.
If you're confused why he used Randy, because I sure as hell was, because you're not supposed to be able to use names.
No, it's an actual word.
It's not just a name.
It's another word for horny, I guess you could say.
And a jerk.
Yeah, the noun of it is a jerk. Up next is Dirt 3, and it is available on the PlayStation 3.
You can't give enough racing games away because no one wants to play them.
The Dirt series, though, I really enjoyed. Like, I played the first one. I didn't play the second one as much, but I played the first one so much. It was such a fun game. And this one is just as fun. They've added some new types of races. Like, you got your basics rally and then rallycross. And then you have head-to-head where you're going, one-on-one, but you're going in opposite directions, but you're still looping around each other.
Ooh,
it's really weird. And then there's also the new mode called Gymkhana, which Ken Block made famous. I watched all those videos constantly.
Coolest.
It's basically like he's doing tricks while driving, and then he drives around people who are on bicycles and does donuts.
Promos?
Yeah, stuff like that. And basically that's all the game is. If you want to play online, you will have to download the online pass, which is actually free, but it is not included in the initial download of the game. You have to go to the store and download it separately.
Loopholes.
Yeah, which I was like, why didn't they just include it in it? But I guess that's the way
too
it
hard.
works. Yeah. Up next, we have Costume Quest 2, and it is available on the PlayStation 3.
This game was made by our very favorite game developers, Double Fine. We love absolutely everything that they do. This is no exception.
It's definitely one of the great games that they have ever made. It's very fitting because we just had Halloween, and now we're getting a Halloween-based game. And in this costume-based game, you must stop the evil Dr. Oral White, who is a dentist that wants to stop Halloween from ever existing. Because as a child, he wasn't allowed candy.
But he's not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He doesn't want to make candy.
He's not like Willy Wonka,
yeah.
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Together with his friends, he must fight his evil forces. And when you enter battle, you will become a more realistic version of your costume. So here you got the girl who's dressed as a superhero. She becomes Superwoman or something like that.
You take on the superpowers of what you're wearing.
Basically. Each costume has different abilities and a super attack that builds up after time. So, the superhero, he picks up a bus full of candy and hurls it at the enemies.
I always thought it was kids.
No,
I didn't think it was candy.
It's candy. That would be horrible if you threw a bus full of kids at him. Sackboy just like punches them real fast, and then is
He's
really
a wild
cool.
fiend.
And the clown, he's comic relief, so he heals with his ability, and he like basically makes you laugh, and laughter is the medicine to heal everything.
He's a supportive character, except it's too soon. It's not funny.
Because of all the scary clowns and
too
everything
soon.
going around.
It's creepy.
In battle, you must time your attacks perfectly. So, like, when you shrink the circle, you have to, like, hit it just at the perfect time, and you'll either get a nice bonus or an awesome bonus or amazing or whatever it is.
You're super!
And it's just a really fun game, and I definitely recommend this one. Up next, we have the Deadly Tower of Monsters, and that is available on the PlayStation 4.
I think they're trying to be funny through the whole game. Like the commentator.
Well, yeah, the whole game plays out like it's a 1970s B movie like Godzilla. So it's basically the DVD came out for it, and it's the commentary track over the movie.
Oh,
That's what it's supposed to be like.
Gotcha.
So you have like the 1970s B movies had horrible like claymation, like in King Kong he was like claymated and everything
yeah,
like
like
that.
there you see the stick.
Yeah, so he's got the puppet in his hand of what's the guy's name? Dick Starspeed. What a great name for a hero. Anyways, you play as Dick Starspeed in this top-down twin-stick shooter. His ship has been shot down by aliens and he lands on a planet that's ruled by an evil emperor.
The apes?
No, it's actually like an evil emperor, like a human type character. You eventually get rescued by the emperor's daughter, who you can actually play as, and her name is Scarlet Nova. And you can eventually switch back and forth between the characters using a cryostasis chamber. So what it does is when you choose whoever you want to play as, it puts the other one in a cryostasis chamber, and they're frozen in time there for...
I love this.
It's a really neat and interesting game. And of course it's cheesy because it's supposed to be cheesy.
Right.
It's just an interesting take on a game. And I don't know. It's
got a lot of interesting dynamics. Like things that you don't normally see in other games.
I thought that when I first started playing, I'm like, oh, this is going to be horrible because the monsters, like, there's dinosaurs that are claymated, and then there's just, like, people in chimpanzee costumes, like Planet of the Apes, and it's like, oh, man.
You don't necessarily realize what it's trying to do until you're in it.
Yeah, and it kind of grew on me. I actually got into it a little bit. Up next, we have Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and it is available on the PlayStation 4.
This is another really beautiful, easygoing game. I love that they keep putting in like a light game in like this.
Yeah, it's kind of an adventure game similar to Dear Esther. I've never played it, and I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a story-based game, so there's not a lot of action going on. You just kind of walk to places, and you find out like elements to the story along the way. So you're walking around the deserted village of Yawton, and like you can't find anybody because they've just all disappeared.
Yeah, something's happened. Like they mention like a flu.
Yeah, that's kind of how
it's like a rapture type of thing, but you really don't know.
It's kind of how it started. It's like, oh, this is a flu that's going around, and then like people's ears and noses started bleeding, and then they just disappear. And so when you're walking around, you'll see these floating balls of light, and they'll lead you to like story interactions where it'll play basically like a recorded message in time.
Yeah, something that happened there that's pertinent to what you're looking for.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and you can't even get a beer at the bar because there's nobody there.
You serve yourself?
Yeah, I suppose you could, but I mean, if
jump behind that bar.
Somebody ends up coming along, hey, you're stealing beer from that bar.
There's nobody in this town.
One of the big gripes that when the game first came out is that you couldn't run. I guess like the developers had put a run button in, but they didn't like list it in the controls, so nobody knew how to run. You hold the right R2 button, the right trigger, basically, for a couple seconds, and after a couple seconds, while moving forward, you will move a lot faster. Which, if you didn't know that, you might have pulled your hair out a little bit.
I get why that wouldn't be so well known though, because there's like I said, this is a very detail oriented story and games.
Yeah,
so
usually
you should want to walk around slowly. You should want to look at, like, this is my
it's
favorite
really
part right
slow
here.
though. That's the problem. Is
Yeah.
it was really slow. And usually, like in a game like this, you click the trigger or the sticks or something like that, and you can run faster. But nobody could figure it out, and then the developers are like, "Hey, you hold down this button for a couple seconds.
Guess what, stupid?
And you can run." Anyways, those are the games that you can get for free this month. Definitely a little bit of a diverse list and quite a few fun games on here. I definitely recommend some of them.
Next up is Thanksgiving, y'all.
Yeah, Thanksgiving this month, and then we're actually at the end of the year, so December is next month already. Christmas time. And pretty soon it'll be 2017. So those are your free games, and I hope you enjoy them. Check it out,
Bye.
and see you next month.